the situation remains tense in Manipur, but the political optics are high. From Rahul Gandhi visiting the relief camps to Biren Singh tearing his own resignation letter, succumbing, as he says, to public pressure. But the question is, what do these optics count for? There is more rioting, violence, killings and arson that has been reported in Manipur on a daily basis. The unrest has been for several years. Can the solution then be found in just 2 months? Well, it looks highly unlikely. Let's open up this discussion. On the telecast with me is BL Vora. BL Vora, this political optics, political narratives that are playing parallelly to the arson, killings, protests that are taking place in Manipur, are they really solving any purpose?
No, not at all. Actually, what is required is the political deft handling of the situation, and other is all now optics, as you said very rightly. It was politically manhandled in the first place. That is why it's escalated to such a situation. Having served in the police and the IPS for about 40 years and dealing with politicians, I am of the firm conviction that politicians in this country can spoil an issue or can solve an issue also. But solving is much less on priority. Here in this case, I am sure the CM knew about the situation through intelligence agencies. Things were becoming bad, but no action was taken. In fact, there are allegations against him that he is pro the Maithis, the major community, which is there. I mean, this may not be true, but the point is here, it also matters that, one is to be sincere, the other is we must look sincere. That is what the issue is. So just answering your specific question at the moment, political optics have no meaning. They will not lead us anywhere. They will not lead to peace. But solid handling of the situation on various fronts, whether it's political, of course, to start with, because they're the topmost from where the policies and decisions follow, and by the security agencies, by the administration, by the central government, everyone has to chip in, including the citizens, the communities themselves. Only then, and it's a very difficult road ahead. I have served in Manipur for many years, in 3 tenures. Situation was not as bad as it is now ever. Of course, in 1980, when I went, there used to be firing in the mohallas of Imphal. And we were able to tackle because we were all on one page. But now things are very tough. And imagine 4,400 weapons being, in fact, handed over literally, not taken away by these guys, by those partial to their own communities, has aggravated the situation. In any state, even 20 weapons are more than enough. Now here in this case, in thousands, and many would have gone to insurgent groups, many would have been sold, many of course are being used. So it's a very, very tough situation. And I think political optics, political decisions are needed. Mr. Amit Shah laid a very good foundation. The Home Minister, highly unusual, very complimentary, spent 3 days, full days in Manipur. There were days when Home Minister of India had no time at all, not even 3 minutes for Manipur, in Delhi also. So I think that a lot of hard work is required on the ground. Yeah.
RVS Mani, the situation continues to be tense. What we are getting to know right now is that the internet has been suspended. The tenure of suspension of internet has been increased to July 3rd. And that's unfortunate as well. But the situation is so bad that there's nothing much that the government can do but to bring about these curbs so that this violence does not spiral out of control. While Rahul Gandhi has visited Manipur, he's not made any incendiary comments or remarks like his peers. Now, in such a situation, all right, we'll try to get our panelists. Okay, RVS Mani, the same question to you again. So if you're able to hear me, sir, the optics at this point of time, and particularly what Rahul Gandhi has done, is perhaps not detrimental because he has again appealed for peace. While his colleagues sitting in Delhi may oppose the government, talk about how the Prime Minister is insensitive to the people of Manipur and so on and so forth. Rahul Gandhi has gone over there, visited the relief camps, met with the governor, and just spoken about how peace is at this point of time the priority, and how the rations need to be provided to the people living in relief camps, and how medical supplies are in short supply. So is this the right way of politics that politicians need to go forward with?
Vega, very interestingly, what my previous speaker, respected Boraji, said. Yesterday also I have been saying like this, when these type of crisis situation happen, the crisis terrorism, crisis tourism by the politician should stop. I am totally against it. Whatever he said, maybe it was very good, it was appropriate, etc., but it also adds pressure on the security forces for a very fundamental thing. And it also, notwithstanding his public posturing, there will be some undercurrents of his supporters, rabble-rousing and all. It is simply not that the leader has said something very in favor of peace does not mean that the undercurrents don't happen, aggravations don't happen. So that must be very, very forthright on that. That any political, I have been saying that this deft handling, leave it to the professionals. Leave it to the officers who have the credibility. Leave it to the mediators who have the credibility. We have had some finest mediators over there. Naga problem has been brought into settlement. There have been very excellent mediators. The government has a record of such illustrious mediators. Then leave it to the professional. Why do we go? Why should the politicians at this stage go? Any politician landing, whether from this side or that side, yes. Functionally, Mr. Amit Shah had to go for establish the thing, and he had spent 3 days there. He had made a lot of progress about it. He had sent the dialogue process, he has initiated and all, that is very good. But for other politicians to go and try fishing out there is absolutely not acceptable. It should be discouraged. Personally, I feel not only professionally also, it certainly hurts the mediation process. We are trying to find a solution here. We want to resolve the issue. Whether it is, and now as Mr. Vora had already pointed out, there is a misgiving about the loyalties of the Chief Minister, fine. There are, or maybe the other group may feel that if the Chief Minister resigns, they may be orphaned. That is also a perspective. These both are different, diametrically opposite perspectives. But where do we stand now? Why do the politicians go? And any politician landing in Manipur at this stage will have this side or that side to placate. Otherwise, they are not going to go on a shopping expedition to Manipur. So let's be very clear about it. Leave it to the professionals even. See, let us come out to work out with a framework. What is acceptable to both parties? Where is the common meeting points? These are all very important things. First, let us finalize on that. About the banning of the communication system, yes, when political leaders are there, as I said, the undercurrents happen, notwithstanding the public posturing of the leader. And those undercurrents could have a it could spread fast through internet and other electronic media, and it could have a very adverse impact on the peace process. So that is absolutely right, and it is well within the rights of the state government, the law and order machinery, to curb these type of rumor mongering or incendiary statements or being spread through the internet, through the WhatsApp group or electronic communication devices and all that. It is absolutely, well, they know the assessment that what could happen with the opposition leader joining in there, notwithstanding the fact that his public posturing is peaceful. What has been he saying about that? What is the backlash of that public posturing? This could also go viral, and it could create a very critical situation in the progress of the peace process. Okay. So it is absolutely right. Thank you, Megha.
Okay. Major Mohammad Ali Shah, it's also perplexing that a problem that has been infested in this area for decades together. Is this at all a possibility to resolve it in just 2 months? Saiba Ahmed, will you like to take this question?
What all is happening at Manipur is really very sad and very disheartening. It takes years and years for a place to develop and to progress, and these things, such incidents, brings the state back to years and years, which is really very sad. What is more disappointing? See, I strongly believe that prevention is better than cure. What is happening there, what is extremely sad. But if proper steps would have been taken, such drastic situation could not have been arised. So, uh, like as I said earlier, prevention is better than cure. Such if the sensitive issues were there, then it must have been noticed, it will be taken care that no such incident should happen. But now of course this has happened, and not only happened, it has been running on since days and days and days and months and weeks and now months. And what is really surprising and shocking that no such strong action has been taken that these things could have been stopped. Um, I can see all gentlemen sitting over here who have done such wonderful work in their own fields. They are much better people to judge and say about this situation. But as a social worker, what I can see, it takes so much hard work and effort for a house to build, for a family to grow, and then such incidents happen and entire things gets into ashes,
Okay.
which is extremely sad.
Yeah. Major Muhammad Ali is back with us on the telecast. Major Muhammad Ali Shah, like we were speaking about the political optics and how useless they are in such a situation. And while there may be resignation or the lack of it of the chief minister, would it really help? Particularly if one chief minister were to replace another, or if there was president's rule, or if there were governor's rule, would it really help in the cause of the people who have been fighting it out over the legacy wars for over decades together now? Can we really find a solution in just a month or two?
Megha, to be very, very honest, and we cannot find a solution in just a month or two. I'll be very, very honest with you. It might sound very bad, might sound very bitter, but the truth is always bitter. The very fact of the reality is the wounds are too deep, Megha, from both the sides, from the Maiti community, from the Kuki tribe. The wounds are way too deep. And I have appealed for peace. I've had a lot of friends, close friends who are Maitis and close friends who are Kukis. I've told them, come on guys, now come online virtually and shake hands virtually. They're like, no, you don't know the background. It's not that easy. It's not what you are thinking that. And I'm talking about first week of May, after 3rd of May when the violence broke out. That time, since then I've been trying to get people together, but no, it's not happening. And now, as you rightly said, by one chief minister going, it will not serve the entire purpose. The new chief minister will come, and where's the guarantee that he is going to? If people, yes, I understand the ground, and it's perfectly fair from both the sides that the chief minister failed to deliver. I will not cast any aspersion on that, but most certainly it was an administrative failure. One cannot deny that. And right from the time when weapons were looted from the police armory, and right from the time the violence broke out, right from the time the many Maitis were killed, many people from the Kuki tribe were killed. So it was an administrative failure which the state could not control, unfortunately. The Home Minister came there, he spent a few days. Well, there was an uneasy calm after that, but once again the violence broke out, and now it's just not calming down. It's not just coming, we cannot control it. It's gone so beyond control. It should have been actually nipped in the bud, Megha. It shouldn't have been allowed to have gone so far. But the fact is, I'll be very, very honest with you. We have unfortunately neglected Northeast for way too long. And I'm not talking about the state government or the central government or the government of the day. Whichever government, be it earlier, now, whichever, we have neglected not just Manipur, but we have neglected the entire Northeast. And now let me tell you, so much of politics is going to come into play. There'll be political vultures. We saw yesterday, in Manipur, we saw Rahul Gandhi's cavalcade, we saw the whole tamasha. The entire attention from the issue of Manipur was diverted towards Rahul Gandhi's visit to Manipur. That became the center of attraction. And let me tell you, well, it could have been, the Congress party might think, without politicizing it, they might think it was a master stroke by Rahul Gandhi going there for them because they wanted to capitalize on every bit. And even though the time he was, when I was posted there, Megha, I would go with the corps commander, I was ADC to the corps commander, we would go by air, by helicopter because it wasn't safe. When we had to travel by road because of bad weather, we would cover the star plates in the car, remove the flag. And when I would patrol in that area, I would remove my pips from my shoulders, I would remove my ranks so that I'm not identified. whether I'm an officer, who I am. If at all, God forbid, if we are ambushed, no one would know where to aim at. I would not wear fancy hats and patrol. I would wear my. So no, you cannot go in a disturbed area. You can't go on going on road, because obviously the intention was to politicize and to meet maximum people on road, and so that you can get maximum people on your side. But let me tell you, the ripples of Manipur ultimately regarding elections also, even if the chief minister is removed or not, would be felt in Nagaland, it will be felt in Mizoram, it will be felt in Sikkim, it will be felt in Meghalaya, it will be felt in Arunachal, it will be felt in a lot of other states, it will be felt in. So the very fact is, this should have been nipped in the bud completely.
Yeah.
And I would call it as an immense failure of the administration, Megha.
Okay. We talk about nipping it in the bud. We talk about how there needs to be a resolution that needs to be found. We also at the same breath talk about how this is a matter that has continued to fester for the last several decades. And chief minister after chief minister, governments after government that have taken power in Manipur, whether it is the BJP or the Congress, have not really been focused on resolving the issue. They're rather sitting tight on the situation because they know that it's a sensitive matter. If they delve into it, it is the political parties that will be questioned, and they will have to bear the brunt of it. But somebody has to take the courageous decision.
You're absolutely right.
See, Manipur was in a very, very good position. In fact, I was there recently in December first week with friends. We had gone to Manipur and Tripura. They wanted to go. Things were not bad. See, but here the situation now suddenly deteriorated because there was no appreciation of what was happening on the ground. So let me also tell you, I think the present administration, and I'm talking of different institutions as well, they are trying to invent the wheel de novo. See, there's a lot of experience available. There's a lot of hard work that has gone into. I'm afraid people who have worked there, whether in the army or in the police or in the administration, I'm afraid they're not being consulted. And people who have no knowledge at all of Manipur, they are there now looking after things. I don't wish to take names for obvious reasons, and intention is not to criticize any individual. But the point is, why not use the collective wisdom of people who have been there for decades? But that is not being done. And the wisdom which is there already in archives somewhere or in the minds of people, that should have been used. It is not being done. It is not impossible, though difficult, because this kind of ethnic divide hasn't been there in Manipur for a very, very long time. Let me tell you, when there was insurgency also in 1980s when I first went, it was Meiteis who were doing insurgency, but Kukis, Nagas, Meiteis, generally they were all on one page. Except Nagas, in Nagaland, they were creating some problems. But now they're all divided. Now this division in society on communal lines is the most dangerous thing that can happen. And Manipur, unfortunately, is a small state, 3 major communities having their own agenda respectively. And now it has become tribal versus non-tribal, basically, because Nagas and Kukis are together in this. And Meiteis have been wanting scheduled tribe status for their own very right reasons, and Kukis are objecting because again for their own right reasons. But somebody has to talk to them. See, it's a long effort required, but I am afraid that things are not going in the right way. And now 1st May, it started 3rd of May, today June is ending. Look at this, 2 months. So I think that a lot of hard work by the right people is required, which is perhaps not being done, but I may be wrong. I don't know.
RVS Mani, it was also, when we play out the sequence of events that happened today with Chief Minister Biren Singh, now he was apparently determined that he is going to resign from his post. He goes on his way to, he's on his way to the governor's residence, and then there is a huge swath of crowd that comes in his support. Requesting him, demanding him that he not resign from this post. And the statement that comes forth from Chief Minister Biren Singh is that I had to succumb under pressure. And in fact, what has come out in the media is his torn letter. A letter that has been torn into 4 pieces, crumbled, and that is also showcased in the media. So my point being is, I don't know the sincerity of the Chief Minister as well over here, in terms of is it things that he's trying to portray. There were allegations that have been put forth by the Kuki community as well in the beginning, with the start of May, when this violence erupted, saying that state machinery was the one that was providing the weapons to these arsonists. So who to believe, who not to believe, what's going on politically? Are there undercurrents at this point of time that have been created because of the political fault lines that have been that have now been visible?
If it is political fault lines, it is very, very unfortunate. That is the reason I have always been, right from day one, I have been telling on your channel, leave it to professional. Let us not take side, let us neutral. Let us get a neutral people on the ground. See, the basic thing is there are very good mediators, extremely. To understand Manipur, each district, 16 of this or districts have a different demographic structure. Even the Kuki from one district may not be on the same page with that. So somebody who knows the 16 districts structure, leadership with a lot of credibility, has go out and say, let us put down the arms first, let us talk, come out to a framework. What are all the issues? If you feel that by giving the status of scheduled tribes to the Metis, does it rob you of the opportunities? These are all questions which need to, hard questions which need to be answered. You have to seek answer that why are they protesting? It is a High Court order. Where is the state government involved? If somebody goes to a High Court and gets an order, so how can the state government has compelled to implement? If you are agreed, you can always go to the state government. Why do you have to burn the bridges in Manipur? This is the way, and a sort of ultimately acceptable framework acceptable to all has to be brought out, and a minimum common program has to be worked out. Only that is the way I got. I would require all the politicians, whether not to pay politics or political one-upmanship on this, whether Mr. Biren Singh resigned and later on he was compelled by the previous, or was it seen as abandoning or decision of the position in the challenging time where he is supposed to protect the people and property of Manipur? These are all questions which will come up to mind. But that is the reason, let them play their politics outside. This is a disturbed area, let us get it right. Let's get down to the facts and say, look, we want to talk. This is at least 3 or 4 such seniors, like Mr. Vora himself has been from Manipur, Tripura, Kerala. He will have the credibility, he will know a lot of people, contact everything. He himself could be leading one of the leaders. There are many other professional people like that, negotiators. Give it to them. If the politicians they have gone, they have done their job, and whatever takeaways they have done, let them come back. Let us bring all professionals.
Okay.
Major Shah himself also knows almost most of the Manipuri languages. So there are such people who have credibility, contacts, who have the position. On the development front, yes, 2014 to 2019, there has been a rapid development in infrastructure, etc. In entire northeast state, Smriti Irani had issued the livelihood issues and all that. But the question is again, what do we do from here? That's it.
Yeah.
We need to consolidate on this.
Major Ali Shah, as much as we would like to separate politics from the ground situation and a solution that can be found which is non-political, it clearly can't be done so, as we have seen in the past few days. What should be the road ahead? That continues to be the question. Difficult question to answer. Various responses that we have gotten over the past several weeks that we have now been conducting this debate. But the solution, if we just leave it to the BSF and the security forces, the army and the police forces, can there be a solution? Because at the end of the day, there needs to be political will. Unless there is political will, how will we allow for resolutions to take place? How will we allow for the committees to come to a decision?
Right, Megha. Megha, I totally concur, bang on 100% with Mr. B.L. Vora and Mr. RVS Mani. In fact, they both stole words from my mouth completely, and I think in a precarious situation like this, and instead of I'll give you a small example to name the so-called peace committee, which was opposed by both the sides vehemently. 51 members, 25 Maitis, 11 Cookies, 10 Nagas, politicians. I mean, firstly, politicians should be out from this. They should be kept away from it completely. They have been former Director General of Police like Mr. B.N. Vora. Similarly, there have been people who are not from Manipur, who do not belong to either the Kuki tribe or the Maite community. They should have been there to negotiate. They have been chief secretaries. Our neighbor, Mr. Sharma, he has been the chief secretary of Manipur. They have been former general officer commanding. They have been former armed forces personnel. People have faith in the armed forces, right? So people who know Manipur well, because Manipur is a very complex state. Let me tell you one thing again. For people who do not belong to Manipur or who are not familiar with Manipur, it's not as simple as somebody will read on Google that, oh, okay, this much is the demography, the topography, the geography, and there's a tribal culture. No, one has to live with the tribals, one has to live with the Maitis, one has to celebrate festivals with them, interact with them, eat with them. Only then when one knows how they think, how they feel, what their culture is, only when one can adopt that. It's very simple for someone to go on a 2-day tour to Manipur or a day tour or transit through Manipur. No, I'm sorry, I'm afraid that is or can be advised by people. But when you experience things firsthand on the ground, it is totally different, Megha. And
Okay.
I'm afraid, as Mr. B. Vora said, those people are the ones who can actually do the trick. They can do the job very well.
Absolutely. Okay.
They are not being consulted,
Okay, fair enough.
unfortunately.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.